Learning how to shoot? This sounds like science fiction, but it's already happening in China. China is developing AI-powered robotic shooting training systems to help train soldiers and security forces. But these robots are not going into real battles. Instead, they're designed to create safer and more realistic training environments. Imagine this. Moving robotic targets that react, hide, and even change speed. AI tracks your accuracy, reaction time, and decision-making in real time. It can instantly analyze your performance and help improve your skills faster than traditional training. Some systems even simulate urban combat and high-pressure situations without risking human lives. And here's the big thing. China is not alone. The US, Europe, Israel, and South Korea are all investing in similar technologies. The goal is clear: smarter training, safer soldiers, and better teamwork between humans and machines. But this raises an important question. How far should AI go in warfare? Robots?
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who push in the 100% truth. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Alright, and this video will be entitled Spiritual Power Will Be Needed for the Time of Trouble. Alright, okay. Alright, and as you see in the video here, okay, China now they have they have these kung fu robots who are doing kung fu and whatnot. These new robots here this year 2026. Alright, you've seen them do all these moves. Some of them could do nunchucks and whatnot. But these things are not just for show. Alright, these things are not just for show. The video I'd show before there, what I take off but that video is actually AI. This video here, it wasn't real, but it just shows you this is ready. This is what they really want to go to. And it's not only China, what have this. Alright, I mean, China is advanced or whatnot, but it's other nations will have this too. They'll be fooled. Okay, the US, alright, America, they have this. Esau Edom has this. Because why? This is their sword. Alright, okay, and they're gonna come down with great wrath. Alright, because they know they have a short time. They can come down with that with the MOTB, a potato chip. Alright, with all his tech and his robots, okay, to set up his his NWO. Why? Because he has a short time, as I said. And with all this tech what Esau Edom is bringing, we're gonna need spiritual power. Alright, we're gonna need spiritual power. Because this normal body, you're not ready for what coming, for what Esau has. Alright, average Jake not gonna survive this. Alright, so let's just get some here. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." A great time is coming. The time of Jacob's trouble. Alright, what never happened, we never really had a time like that. But it's coming, in these last days. Alright, verse 22. "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." Because all this tech what Esau have, this AI, these AI robots, so AI, evolving every day, learning every day, no flesh will be saved. No flesh will be saved, So the Lord is shortening the days to give, the Lord is giving them less time to make these things. But, they're still going to come down with great wrath with these things, But I'll read it in the NLT. All right, verse 22 in the NLT, it says, in fact, unless that time of calamity is shortened, not a single person will survive. All right, but it will be shortened for the sake of power's chosen ones. All right, the elect. All right, only the elect gonna survive the terrors of what coming. You know, that terrors, what coming, that all the stuff that Esau is bringing. All right, okay, his sword. Okay, this is Ezekiel chapter 22, 21, and verse 8. I'll read it from verse 8. It says, and again the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say unto thus Slakia, and say, thus saith the Lord, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it make litter. All right. Okay, and Esau Edom's sword is advanced. All right. Okay, his sword can go into these tech, these robots and whatnot he have. This AI. Okay. It says, should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. All right. And he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. All right, and who is the slayer? The slayer is Esau Edom. All right, he's gonna have that sword, that furbished sword. All right, and it's gonna be sharpened. He's gonna come down with great wrath. All right, so in that time, the Lord gonna have to lift up, a standard. All right. Because of the stuff what Esau is bringing. All right. Okay. And that standard is only for the elect. They're gonna have spiritual power. They're gonna be protected in that time. All right. Let's get this here in the Apocrypha. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, and in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. All right. Spiritual power. Right. Spiritual power is going to be given. Okay. Certain brothers, men the Lord, they're going to get spiritual power in that time to escape the troubles that come in. Right. So let's look at that word visitation here. Visitation. Salakia.
Visitation.
It says the appearance of a divine or supernatural being. All right. We're gonna get, supernatural powers. We're not gonna be ordinary. All right. Let's go now with supernatural.
Supernatural.
It says of a manifestation or event attribute to some force beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. All right, and that's Esau. Slacky, that's the Lord. Raising up this body to a different level. All right, where Esau Edom not gonna understand it. Okay, and he not gonna be able to do nothing against us. All right. We're gonna turn into super beings. All right. So it says, and in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. Right here, those nations gonna be judged and put under subjection. Okay, and we're gonna rule over them. All right, starting with Esau Edom. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. All right, the Lord hath care for his elect. His elect gonna be safe in that time. All right, and the only way you're gonna be, gonna escape, that time, Jacob's trouble, is if the Lord's on your side. All right, so now, you have to keep on pushing. Have faith in Him. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Keep on enduring and be diligent, because He's gonna be your safety in any time. All right. I'll just read this here. This is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." All right. So fear the Lord now, because He's going to be your stability in that time. All right. He's going to protect you. So for the time we're coming up here, we're gonna need spiritual power. The Lord gonna have to lift up that standard, okay? And some brothers gonna get that spiritual power. Lord's willing, we be a part of that number, the elect. I'll just bring out the scripture with the standard. This is Isaiah 59 and verse let's see here, verse 19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them." Right? The men of the Lord gonna get spiritual power. We're gonna be the Lord's battle axe. All right? In that time. So I hope this lesson was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Wa Abad Babal and Shalom.